Whoever sets the frame controls the game. Okay, so
Spoiling
spoil it
it
from the inside is where I try to get into their frame, so that's appreciation. And I try to talk their language inside their head. I try to get out of my map and try to get into their map. That requires you to appreciate and understand their frame. You got to talk their language.
Yeah.
Then once you're in their head from their language, you can mess with them because you're now in their head. That's the spoil from the inside. Because if they're trying to pitch something now, they're trying to convince other people. So they've abandoned inside their head. They're impression management, so they're playing on the outside. If you can get enough information from a person, you can jump into their map of the world and you can just move some stuff and then spoil them from the inside. Whoever sets the frame controls the game.
So what's a good way to mock the significance? What an example of that, Deef?
Well, you're dealing with the target and you're dealing with the group.
Mm-hmm.
He's focused at selling his idea to the supply, so he's focused on impression management. So if you know that he cares about significance and he oversells it, you can act out to ridicule his excessive overselling to sour his credibility with the rest of the group. Or you could say, oh, you have this credibility in this, and I'm sure you have this, and you have this, and this, and just overload the excess credibility
Inflate.
and just throw that into the room. And you do it in a sort of ridicule tone or a skeptical tone. Attacks his credibility. So he tried to oversell his credibility. Then you can jump and exaggerate that oversell.
I get it.
Whoever sets the frame controls the game. So the story that captures the most attention, the most bleeding heart or whatever, that controls the game. And at the same time, if you put your story or put your framing towards the students or towards the mission statement of the company or whatever or environment, then that's a moral high ground for the framing. And that controls the narrative. So when they say controlling the narrative, that's partially whoever sets the frame controls the game. Deconstruct it, so you could ask a question and then you could say, how does that make sense to this and this? So you're poking different pieces to deconstruct it, to challenge the framing. Whoever sets the frame controls the game. Question it into a state of doubt, skepticism, or death. What does that mean? I don't understand. That's using doubt, which is the crux of gaslighting. So when a narcissist gaslights you or me, they're sowing doubt on our certainty. So you're using the questioning to sow doubt, and then they overwrite their confidence. So they write their story over top yours while they're sowing doubt. Gaslighting, right? Whoever sets the frame controls the game.